Good day and welcome everybody to Built Different Special Edition here. Colin can't be with us because he is on vacation, and so we are here at the St. Michael's Army Golf Tournament, raising money for our good buddy Nate Spees, and our fill-in today, Mr. Greg Schaefer. Greg, can you tell us your title and what you do for the police department?
I'm a St. Louis City police officer. Been a police officer for about 15 years.
Okay. And Ashley, you put on this event.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And how
Fourth
did
year.
you get into this? Before that, actually, I should say, tell us your title, what you do.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Ashley Travers. I am the president and founder of St. Michael's Army. We're a 501c3 non-for-profit the way that this all started, and I speak about it super casually, is my husband was in law enforcement for about 10 years, and when he got out, he kind of felt like guilty, leaving his guys, leaving his people, and he wanted to do something to give back. So I said, let's just start a charity. Let's just start a foundation, and you can do it that way. So when we decided what we wanted it to be about, we love what Backstoppers does. They're amazing, but they're in uniform only, right? So we wanted to fill a gap, or close a gap rather, for officers that were hurt, injured, needed something from anywhere from mental health to, anything at all that they need in or out of uniform. Okay. So we started fundraising just for everybody that needed help. So whether they were in or out of uniform.
When you say out of uniform, do you mean after
home with their
left,
kids?
or,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, good.
Yep. Home with their families. We've helped, several, and we had, I always use this example. We had a guy who had a brand new baby at home. Mm-hmm. He's a big deal. He could not miss work. He's on a 12-hour shift. His plumbing something happened, water's all over. The new baby's there. The wife's home. She just had the baby. And he had to get to work. Yeah, baby's swimming around. And he had to get back to work. So we sent a plumber over, paid for that, So it's stuff that can happen inside or outside of the job.
Greg, do you need anything?
You need anything?
Just in general, as an officer.
No, I think I'm fine right now.
Mental.
How long you been in? How long have you been in?
15 years, a little bit.
Okay, that's good though.
Is it good?
That's good. I know. Usually,
it feels like I'm trapped.
We just had this conversation. They call it 20 in and out, but it's like 10 by the time you start to really get exhausted with this career field. Like our guys come in and they're like,
I was probably at about 9. Whenever you really feel like the mental fatigue. But I've been through, I think by that point, probably 3 sets of riots.
St. Louis loves riots.
Several officer-involved shootings. So it was my level of burnout probably changed as opposed to other people's.
Yeah. What do you mean?
I think I probably got there a little bit quicker than your average person.
Yeah.
I was also a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more active than the average police officer for quite some time. So I think that burns you out a little bit quicker, especially when you don't really have off days because you're in court, you're in...
Absolutely.
Constantly kind of worrying about other things that are involved with it.
Yeah.
But you still find a way to be an involved father, and in your case, too, as the wife of, how do these things come home?
Oh, nonstop. Yeah. It's brutal. And
so you're in that law enforcement world too, as a wife, right?
Oh, for sure. Sometimes I've said the spouses almost have it just as bad or worse because they're micromanaging kids' schedules. These 12-hour shifts, nobody talks about that. When you guys are working, do you guys switch every month? Some departments do it differently. So are you every couple of months, every 6 months?
It depends. It's every 3 weeks, and then night watch stays kind of permanent.
Yeah. So they go back and forth with their sleep schedules. So they'll have 12-hour shifts starting 1 month at 6 a.m. and then all of a sudden overnight they're switching to overnights and they're going in at 6, working overnight.
Which is crazy because that's not
your body's not built for that,
Scientifically, it's known that that's not a good thing.
No, it's definitely not. There's no way.
I'm pretty sure it causes cancer.
I'm pretty sure it causes complete chaos.
Yes.
And trying to navigate that as a spouse. And then on top of that, the stuff that they see at work when they come home, they're trying to bring it down. But we're asking questions. We want to know what happened with your day, and they don't want to talk about it. And then you're mad because they don't want to talk about it. There's so much that goes into this.
You're always defusing.
Yeah, it's constant. And we were blessed enough to be able to pull my husband out when we did because he was getting so dark. But a lot of people can't do that. Sure. And so that's where it really became an issue with, we were like, how can we be helping differently? And most people don't want to say anything when they get to that point. They don't even know what's happening, right? A lot of cops don't even know that they have mental stuff going on because it happens so slowly. And the spouses usually do, but if they say something, or even a family member like a mom or a
It
dad,
won't trigger anybody.
for sure. And then they pop off and, I don't have anything wrong, it's just a whole nother mess. So that was a big thing. And I think we're seeing more mental health right now than we are anything else.
Sure.
And that's been, we play around in Nashville. We don't have a St. Michael's Army in Nashville right now. We're trying to go nationwide with it. I live in Florida in Palm Beach. And so we're trying to mess with getting it going down there too. And the thing that we're hearing is that they know St. Louis. Like anywhere I go in Nashville or anywhere I'm down in South Florida, they know St. Louis and they're like, we will help you raise money for those back home back home because they know how bad it is here.
Well, and it's very much like an unfortunate side effect is the political landscape when in actuality, patriotism isn't political. So in that same sense, like growing up, police officers used to come around the neighborhood and like give us baseball cards and do all these different things. And now they almost can't because it's like they're treated like Vietnam veterans.
I know, it's wild.
Right? And so I think that the biggest thing for me as somebody who is in a neutral zone, so to speak, as far as what charities I work with and do, is helping people understand that the goodness that comes from law enforcement is not mutually exclusive or exclusive to anything to do with politics.
Well, there's, I think, two big reasons with why that mental aspect has become more. I think one, it's more prevalent in society.
Yeah,
I think people talk about it more in general.
Yeah.
I think people realize it's healthier to get feelings out and talk to people about it. And two, I think specifically since the Mike Brown thing, I think there's been
that was big.
such a loss of people in law enforcement that everyone, 10 years in law enforcement now, because your call volumes increased by 50%, it's like 15 years in law enforcement.
Yeah.
And I think it adds up on people quicker, and I think it's people realize the toll it takes on them.
Yeah, it is political, sadly. I remember a time where my husband would put his uniform on and we would go to the store and kids would run up and thank him. And I don't know what the vibe really is here because I don't live here full time anymore, but I do feel like some of that's coming back. It was really bad, like when we left 2.5 years ago, and it was even worse like 2 years before that. So I think it's getting a little bit better. I think the climate's shifting a little. People do appreciate the police, and they are starting to get more bold with their voices for that. And that's what we want. Like if you're out there and you're watching, they need you to be vocal about your support for them. This kind of stuff, showing up, giving back, helping us out with this. There's several 501c3s that are in the St. Louis area that do different but kind of similar stuff. And there's room for all of them to exist, and there's a need for all of them to exist. So getting out there and making sure that you're showing that support, it's huge.
Well, I think that it is coming around is because with mental health taking a forefront and being more prevalent, there is also an understanding of a resurgence of the understanding that we had in the 90s, which is that individuals are individuals. No one person can be categorized as their color, race, creed, occupation, whatever else. And I think that has been incredibly helpful to understand that there's good and bad of everything. But no, the reason I bring all that up is because I think that the resurgence is due to the same reason there was a push in the beginning, that's social media. So now people are getting onto social media without fear, or it's taking the forefront over some of these news channels and media channels that are really just opinionated things.
Yeah.
And now you can watch a Joe Rogan who will have DeSantis on one week, and the next week we'll have Gavin Newsom on.
Yeah.
Right?
It's hard. It's really hard because when they don't feel supported, or when police families don't feel supported by politicians, then you get feisty, you get frustrated.
And it should get messy though.
Because they're not there at the front lines doing the work. They're not there being Nate getting hit by the car or Colin getting shot. They're not doing those things. They're dictating what happens around and setting kind of the stage for how the world is going to perceive or act towards them. Yes, we have good and bad in everything. And I think, like I said, it's getting a little bit better because people are starting to realize that. But, we really do need the communities to step up. We need people to understand there's so much more that goes into this than just, we're here, bidding on silent auction items. No, we are like changing lives, saving lives. I don't know how many suicides we're at this year for police, military. I know it's bad. There's a book out by Mark Spicer, and they talk about PTSD, and he wants people to start calling it PTSI. It's an injury. It's an injury that needs ongoing treatment.
Okay, yeah.
If you treat mental illness as an injury and you have a plan and a system to deal with it over a long term, which is what we try to do and help with, you get a better result. It's not a disorder. There's nothing wrong with you if you have something mentally going on with this job. I mean, we can talk about the physical stuff that happens, and that obviously is a big thing. It's why we're here today, right? But the injury that happens in the mind and in the brain, it's a real thing, and it takes time and it takes resources and money, and the departments don't have it.
What, if anything, is there like for law enforcement or first responders for the families of?
Great question.
Because there should be, if there's not, support for you all too, because like you said, they're bringing that home.
Yeah,
so
right.
What is there for spouses?
Great question. I love that you asked it. St. Michael's Army Soldiers.com or St. Michael's Army STL.com. You go on, just fill out a little form and we'll get a hold of you. We assist with that. So if it's a mom, a dad, daughter, son, I've myself personally gone and picked up one of our officers' little girls and took her out to get her nails done and just had a day with her because she was struggling. We will help with that. We can definitely help with that. There is stuff out there for the families, and the families need to know it's okay to ask. Even if it needs to be something that you just call me personally, my number's all over the website. I don't care. I want you to call.
Yeah.
And just say, I don't want him or her to know that I'm calling, but I'm really worried about this. Ask the questions, because we don't have to advertise that you called. You may not even need to do anything. Maybe it's something that I've already handled and helped with, or that our counselors have advised us on that we can just pass over. But I think what happens is they don't think there's anything for them. And there is. We can definitely help with that. And I know a couple other foundations in St. Louis that are local will too. But if you are a family member of an officer and you would like resources for yourself, or if they're struggling and you don't know what to do, reach out to us and we'll get you in contact with somebody.
When we come back, we're going to add another special guest. Miss Ann Dorn is here with us today. So we're going to talk to her about some of the plight that officers face in especially rural areas where they're making less than fast food workers, and not that either one should make any certain amount, but certainly when you're expected to protect and serve your community, there should be a certain level of respect that you get back in your community. It's not being met. It's very unfortunate. And when we come back, we're going to talk with Miss Ann Dorn about that.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We are here at the St. Michael's Army Golf Tournament today, and we are now joined by not only Miss Ashley Travers, but Ann Dorn. So before we left, we were talking about how a lot of the areas within the police departments are underserved and underfunded. So Ann has been combating those needs now for 3 years?
Yes.
3 years, right? Mm-hmm. And so the Catherine David Dorn Foundation does what primarily?
We serve underfunded officers, basically. We don't serve the agency itself. We buy equipment, safety equipment for first responders and underfunded agencies, but we also assist their families if needed. We'll come in at a time of need if there's medical things needed, but we basically focus on safety equipment and stuff they have to come out of pocket to buy. There's a lot of agencies just don't buy equipment for their officers.
Yeah.
They hire them, like you said, $14 an hour, some of them, and they give them a $200 uniform allowance. Well, anybody who's been a police officer knows a pair of pants are going to cost you $50 to $60. A shirt's going to cost you more. A duty belt itself, there's your $200 right there, easy. A holster can cost you $200. And if it comes down to it, when you get that $200 allowance, it's Christmas time, or your washing machine just broke, or the kids got something coming up. So that money's going there. They're not buying the equipment.
Yeah, especially at $14 an hour.
We buy eye and ear protection, and now when we do have the money and we can find a vendor close to an agency, we'll buy them boots, because we found out some of these guys are just wearing tennis shoes, which is fine in some cases, but you're going into places, there's nails, you're standing, you need the boots to get through some of the stuff you're going through. And we do that. And then on the caveat side, I've also worked in mental health with that. I was a mental health coordinator with the police department. I've created a mental health course, and it not only helps active officers and their families, but it also helps retirees. Okay. Because we found out there's a lot of retirees. Me being retired now, and then working with my partner, Gary Foster, we're seeing a lot of these guys 6 months after they retire, the PTSD is really hitting them. And then just trying to deal with these feelings they have where, like one thing I told the guy, said, hey, if you got a driver in front of you that's acting kind of stupid, as a policeman, what do? You pull them over. Well, as a private citizen, you can't do that. Yeah. And then that road rage comes out, and they're not realizing why they're getting this rage. They just don't have an outlet for that adrenaline and that's going on. And a lot of them think there's something wrong with them. You know, if you're involved in a shooting, if you're involved in a major accident, if you have a serious injury, yes, we expect you to have PTSD. But just the accumulation of seeing everything and everything we deal with on a daily basis, it's cumulative PTS. And like she said, it's not D, it's an I. And a long-term mission I have is to get in front of Congress or get in front of the mental health board and have it change from the D to the I. It's an injury. It's not a disease. It's not a disorder. It's an injury. If you suffer a brain injury, if you're in an accident and you have a brain injury, if you break your leg, you're going to get treatment.
So when you fund it, and then how did the other thing I want to talk about is we have programs for the families, we have programs for the officers, we have everything in between. How did you two connect and meet? Because you told me a brief look, oh, look how cute that both was. Like a little mirror of each other. You're like, deep, deep.
Yeah, that was all God and Captain Dorn.
Yeah.
That was what that was. I was on a beach randomly, and where was I? Gulf Shores. Shores. Destin. And I looked over, and my husband.
The Ozarks of Florida.
The Lake of the Ozarks of Florida. We're like the
Yeah.
only people from Missouri on the other side of South Florida.
Okay.
Like it's so bizarre that we did not go to that side. But I'm there and I'm hanging out, and my husband noticed there was a man sitting to our left, and he had a St. Louis Cardinals hat on. So he's like, "Hey, where are you from?" Blah blah. And he'd said, "That guy's a cop." You know, you guys like know.
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys like know that. I mean, I do. Like 100%. Like every single time he calls it, it's right. And it was Gary. It was her partner. And so we all just hit it off.
Gary definitely looks like a cop.
Gary for sure looks like a cop. He walks like a cop. Like he's like, so they get going, talking, chatting, and my husband never stopped talking either. So they just talk the whole time. I'm actually a real estate broker also, and I own a company here, Rise Realty Group. Shameless plug.
No, please.
And so I help mostly blue line families. That's like what I do, obviously. I mean, that's just my niche or whatever. So he's telling Gary about the company, and he's like, I need her to talk to Ann Dorn. She needs to sell this house. We've got to get her out of there. So at that point, we just lost Captain, and she was not doing well. You wanted to kind of stay in the house like you did, and you didn't, where you like kind of.
I was in between, yeah.
You were like in between, and he's like, I think that Ashley would be a really good match just to talk to her and like slowly walk her through this. And so I met her and immediately fell in love with her, and we did. We took our time. We took our time. I still get like choked up even thinking about where you were then and where you are now in our talks that we would have, because
there was a true God and Dave intervention with me moving out of the city.
It was really hard for
I was having
her.
a very horrible day, and I was cussing out everybody, and I was home alone, but I was cussing everybody out, Dave and everybody else. And she called me and said, "Hey, we got to talk." And I'm like, "No, Ashley, we're not talking today." And she's like, "No, really, I got some good news." And I'm like, "Ashley, I'm not in the mood right now." She's like, "No, just give me a few minutes." And I had just like, "Dave, you have to tell me what to do. I need a sign." She calls me.
Yeah, it was bizarre.
Within 2 minutes of me saying this out loud, she calls me, and she goes, "Yeah, somebody wants to help you with this, and we're gonna make it happen." And that was my sign from Dave to say, "Buy the house you were looking at. Let's go."
And that was my biggest thing, was no stress. She was already really just in a place where we needed to like slowly walk her through this. And that was my biggest thing. So, and they followed through. They were great.
Oh, they were wonderful.
They were great.
In teaching mental health and helping officers, I always tell them after a big major incident, you don't make any decisions
No.
within the first year. None.
Absolutely not. Agree.
3 months after Dave died, I signed papers for a house.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So within 3 months, I bought a house. So I made this huge decision. I'm selling my house and I'm buying a new house. Within 3 months, I signed papers. Ashley and I have kind of bounced off of each other. You know, if there's somebody she needs help with, and she calls me, and vice versa. If I need something, I call her, because we're almost on the same mission.
Yeah.
I mean, our mission is actually
Absolutely.
almost
it is.
identical.
I'm
But
saying absolutely
we just have
today because
different.
it is.
You know, she helps in this way, and I help in this way. Our goal is still the same.
Sure, it's all encompassing.
It's all encompassing goal, and we're not in competition.
Not at all.
Where you see a lot of 501c3s in competition with each other, like, I'm not going to give you this, I'm not going to help you with
Yeah,
this.
they
but
don't want to give a donor list or whatever.
No,
It's
and
so
goofy,
crazy.
Because if we're all serving the same purpose.
We're all serving the same purpose, so
Yeah.
let's work together.
In North
So
Carolina,
silly.
I saw a lot of that. So we
It's
did a
so
lot of
silly.
stuff with Starlight in North Carolina, and that's the I was speaking to you about today. So I was blessed enough to be designated as the vice president of Starlight Initiative, and we do national disaster recovery relief, but our underlying mission is to prevent trafficking during those relief stages, because it's very prevalent in there, right? And so we work with a lot of Irreverent Ministries, Judges Rescue, Patriot Mountain guys, a lot of soft teams that come in and deal with this stuff underneath, because the first responders are busy.
Yeah.
And so it was my job then to coordinate these efforts, because as a disaster relief, people are very forthcoming with information. So then we can take that intel, go back and say, okay, here's what we do here. So I've gotten to do some, I would say, exciting things, and some of it turns out really good, and we do some really cool stuff, but a lot of heartbreaking things as well. But one of the most heartbreaking things for me wasn't the acts of these things. It was the fact that we were in an area in North Carolina, in the division line of where these relief efforts was I think we were 15 minutes by Blackhawk, but all the roads were closed. So we were traveling back and forth in Black Betty. Shout out to Ram Jam and Bamalam for flying us around out there. That was amazing. I didn't know that was a bucket list item until I was on it. And then I was like, oh yeah.
That sounds like one.
Blackhawk,
Yes.
check it down. We're going to have one out in August for the Centennial. Those guys will come back out for the American Legion thing. But the reason I mention that is because they didn't want to share donor lists. So we have these resources that one town of another. And so kind of what led this whole thing to become what it is was everybody's making lists of what they need, but nobody was making lists of what they have surplus of. So in the same sense of working together, that's what we've tried to do with the disaster relief for the St. Louis tornadoes is, great, I know everybody has a bunch of water, fantastic. What do you have too much of? What's taking up space in your warehouse right now? Because it's probably needed somewhere else in the city.
Absolutely.
And so I kind of reverse engineered that, and I think that's what I love about you two working together. And we know that Mark Schmitz is here today too,
Yeah.
with Freedom 13, and now combat veterans are very different in a sense from first responders, but it's all underlying of how do we help families that serve and protect. So I love the idea of sharing within what we're doing, and where can people, and we'll put this in the description bar too, but where can people go to help out your foundation?
My website just went down, so I apologize, but it is dornfoundation.com.
It'll be out before this airs.
Hopefully, yes. And if not, they can go straight to the Facebook page, Captain David Dorn Foundation. There's links there to help us out where they can make donations. Or we have Ann Dorn at CaptainDDFND.com is
Okay.
the email address. They can email me directly, and I will answer. I'm the one who answers everybody.
Yes.
So you get a personal thing. You're not just messaging somebody that you're just going to get a generic answer. When you send the messages, when you call, it's me. You get me. I don't turn Gary loose on the public. Training was given to us for free.
Yeah.
I still have over $1 million, not $1 million, probably $800,000 to give away in training.
That's incredible.
And
Free allocated for training.
free
purposes.
training,
Yeah.
yes. Any officer needs training, they need to reach out to me. I have 17 different courses they can take. They're very high tech, that'll advance their careers. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity for a lot of them. Reach out to me again, Ann Dorn at CaptainDDFND.com, and I'll get all that information out to them. But yeah, we want to push this out more. We want officers to take this training. We want them to get the mental health. I want to help them with equipment. The thing is with equipment though, money has to come in for money to go back out. For
Right.
equipment to go back out. So we do work on private donations. Most of the time we're working on grants now, but I'm not good at that. I'm working on people helping me with that as well.
Good deal. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you soon.